Welcome. My name is Denise Williams, and I am your financial coach. I'm joined by Elizabeth Terry, NLP trainer and coach. Hi, Liz.
Hello, Dennise. Good to be here.
Oh, we have been on a journey, and
Yes, we have.
yeah, listen, it's no look here. This is not a yesterday journey. This is years working with mindset and money. And I am just so proud of the compilation of modules that we have put together that persons can, watch individually or as a binge watch and just go through all of them. But really and truly, at the end of the day, what we have offered to you for consideration are tools, right? The tools that can shift you out of a space where, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, as a professional, as someone who is striving to be better, we have offered you some tools that not only shift your mindset, but they can shift your cash flow into the positive. And in this section, we're going to be looking at who's your financial freedom role model. And before we all jump and say Oprah Winfrey, let us really pack it out and dissect what's happening here. Because there's just so many things involved in becoming your own cash flow superhero, but all of them fall under taking care of yourself, moving from self sabotage to money sage. And this is the wisdom that is within you, and you'll be unleashing that. So, as I have shared, I am your financial coach, and I help women, I help entrepreneurs, I help professionals improve their cash flow with a variety of techniques. I'm very strategy driven. However, I am supported by the most awesome Elizabeth Terry, who has spent her career training others, building up others, and really helping you navigate the rainforest or the jungle or the desert or the tundra inside your head so that you can get results. Because results, positive outcomes, is really the point of all of this. And so working together, you have two coaches, yeah? And for a lot of people, they're looking to just do one thing with one coach. That's not how the story goes. There's really so much that you can gain from having a mindset coach and having a financial coach. Why is that important? Well, you have a case of a client who her parents left her and her brothers and sisters about five different properties, and no one wanted to pay the attorney to settle the probate so
Mm,
that they could unlock the value of the five houses. Okay.
wow.
Now, a simple solution, maybe not easy for some people, but a simple solution would have been insurance policies, right? For each child that would have allowed for extra cash to cover the death taxes, the probate costs, and such, right? Or another alternative would be you're a parent, you're acquiring property, teach your child how to manage property. Okay, what to do, what happens in your transition. Now, one of the things I can say as a financial coach, no matter how great of a written strategy I give you, how much organization we do with your money, without the shield of your mindset, you will be sucked into other people's story in like no time. I guarantee you. Because a financial strategy is only as good as how much energy and action you put into it. This is simple as that. And if you are sabotaging yourself, you have less energy and will take less action. And that's why a mindset coach is so critical for you in building out a financial plan that's going to carry you for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So I just want to really reinforce two coaches, two offers, two strategies, but very complementary. So, who is your financial freedom role model? Again, we tend to look way up. So, I'm going to say, Warren Buffett and Oprah Winfrey, these big names. However, I can tell you, there are a lot of people who are doing some very awesome work on a day to day basis that I consider them my role model. And let me just take you through. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to give Liz to give you a chance to just talk us through what we're going to be looking at.
Sure, sure, sure. So we're going to be talking about what is modeling itself, and I'm going to be diving into this from an NLP perspective and how do you do it? Because we want to do it in a way that's going to be really effective. So then who should you model? And finally, some success tips that we want to leave with you to make sure that you bring together all of what we have been covering over the last 9 modules into this one, condense it, and takeaways for you.
Yes. So I have been referring to what I like to call this cake, this financial execution
Yeah, it
cake.
looks like a wedding cake.
I does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So again, I believe that based on my coaching experience, many people are modeling break even mindset. So your parents just want to pay their bills, they just want to be secure. You just want to be good. You don't want too much, right? No, because more money is more problems, right? And you just want to pay your bills. And so that is what we see around us, okay? And so we are modeling, we are copying, we're emulating our immediate surroundings, okay? So let's say we, for whatever reason, move, whether we get a college education, married, move to another town, country, whatever. If we now move away from our tribe, so to speak, we may model a surplus mindset, right? Because if everyone in the family went to high school, then you go to college, you will be automatically in surplus compared to them.
Mhm.
Here's the challenge: who are you modeling in the surplus mindset? Okay, there are persons who are they're rich and broke. So what happens is they have a lot of wealthy friends, okay? And because of the circle they're in, a lot of spillage happens. I'm going to New York. You know what? Liz, come with me. I'll pay the ticket because I can afford it, right? Liz don't have a dollar and is drowning in credit card debt. But because we're friends, Liz just comes up. And so Liz is
Mhm.
posting on Instagram all her New York pics, and she's looking
Mhm.
really well.
Yeah,
Okay. And
posting.
and Liz appears to be in surplus, right? And so many people are in that. So if you've changed your original circle up, you've up to a new circle, and you are modeling more than likely their spending behavior, their event behavior, that kind of very great social media photos behavior. However, the actual work that requires for you to not only move from break even, but to
Mhm.
stay in surplus, that's not happening because you
Right.
don't have a model. Now,
Mhm.
this is where a lot of challenges happen with women entrepreneurs in that they go into the banks, they go online, they wherever you go, no one's talking to them. They're being talked at. They're not given the support and the encouragement that is needed for them to be in surplus. Okay. I experienced this greatly when I had my second child, and he has a disability. And I felt, oh my God, my victim and controller and judge saboteurs had years of running the show. And especially when it came to money, because something as simple as saying, Dennise, create a portfolio, a stock portfolio where you're earning dividends as extra cash flow. No one said that to me. Okay. It's a very simple thing. I'm not saying it's easy because you got to do some research. But no one who knew I had a child with disability said, Dennise, you're going to need extra money for therapy, for this, for that. That nothing. Okay. And so modeling surplus as a mom with my child, that there was who I look left, right. So as much as I love Oprah, she doesn't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't come up. And so that's why I'm saying it's very critical to understand each layer of the cake of execution so that you can model behavior that gets you where you want to be. Because it's okay if, as an entrepreneur, as a career person, you just want to be comfortable. That's great. Model people though that are protecting their comfortableness. They're modeling effective financial behavior. Do you have insurance? Do you have an investment portfolio that grows and pays you cash? Do you have a plan to get on the property ladder? Do you have a plan? So these are the questions, some of the basic things to be comfortable. And then, of course, as you move up, the productive asset mindset, the economic center mind. It's one thing to say, my role model is Warren Buffett. Unless you're prepared to deep dive and see what he does every day, you're not going to know how to effectively run your money the way he does. And of course, there are people who follow every move that Warren Buffett makes. Yeah. I'm simply saying I would stay closer to home. I would seek out persons who are, effective there's people who look good, but then there are people who are effective. Okay, and there are people who are honest about their. So let me give a very classic example. Many of us know how to acquire assets for a variety of reasons. We know how to. Do we know how to grow our cash flow? It's two different skill sets. Okay, because buying property is a function of good credit. Bottom line, you pay your bills on time, the bank will extend you credit. Okay, I'm being very simplistic, for the sake of time, but that's basically, have a track record of paying your bills on time, the bank will extend you credit to buy property. Okay, over on the cash flow side, that's a horse of a different color. You're not going to go into the bank and see cash flow strategies. You're going to see loans, credit cards, savings, investments. The bank is simply a storehouse. They charge you a fee for the service, but they're just a storehouse. No one is going to a warehouse or a storeroom and say, show me how to make cash or how to earn more. You just put in your furniture there and you move on, right? But we do that. We expect the bank to show us how to do better with our money, how to improve. There's nothing there to model if you have a specific situation in which you need greater cash flow. The bank is not going to give you the tools. So the modeling of the mindset to grow your cash flow, to grow the surplus cash in your life, to maybe grow to the next level productive assets, and then the fourth level economic center. Please understand that there are at least 12 different activities that need to happen and that need to be put in place in order for you to be in a position where your cash flow, whether it's a lot or a little, has almost a multiplier effect. And let me give you a quick example. Insurance. If you were to have a hospital policy as an example, okay, hospital policies tend to be one of the cheaper, more than say vision, dental, prescription. Okay, because the odds of you going to the hospital are lower than the odds of you needing a prescription. You probably need a prescription quicker than you go into the hospital. Okay, but think about the financial effect of not having a hospital policy. You can be wiped out by going to the hospital. More than likely, you're not going to be wiped out from a prescription. It can happen, but I'm just saying, when you look at that, something, a decision as simple as that. But, these are things that we have to think about. Okay. Again, I'm picking on insurance. It's not the only thing, but it is an easy thing to talk about. You have a property, you have a house, right? Is it that you want your child to sell the house? Well, if you do, fine. But if you don't, and it's important for that asset to create value for the child, have some insurance that will pay the taxes and such, the probate and whatever, or take other estate planning strategies. So I'm simply saying a mindset in which you are modeling the behavior of effective financial people is priceless, right? We get caught up in Instagram and we get caught up in, the media, but they're not giving us what these people do on a day-to-day basis to ensure they stay at the top. That is the missing element for me. And so that said, I hand over to Liz.
Yes, Dennise. So how do we move now into a deeper dive into modeling? Now, modeling is something that we often think about, or maybe we've even done it, that allows you to see what is the difference between excellent and average performers. Because obviously you want to be able to model excellence. And in fact, that's exactly what the founders of neurolinguistic programming did. They modeled the excellence that was emanating from several well-known psychotherapists and hypnotherapists, and took that information and distilled it into models and tools that we can use now to help you get great results. So the first thing that we model is perhaps what's most obvious. So this is the conscious components that are easy to observe, and they happen on the outside. What is this saying? It's really the behavior. So Dennise was talking about, looking at maybe people who are quite wealthy, and what you are going to see is perhaps more around their lifestyle, because that's what's really very prominent, right? So if you look just at what's happening on the outside in terms of their lifestyle and the fact that, they have people in their business that are employed and doing much of the deep work in their businesses, and they seem to be off playing golf, then you are not actually tapping into a very important aspect, which is the internal. So the first part is the behavior. Now, the second part has more to do with what's happening on the inside. And some of that is fairly unconscious. So, Dennise, if you could change the slide for me. Right. So the internal process, and that's really now looking at the how. So these are the unconscious components that people are running internally that are actually driving their external behavior. Sometimes the people themselves are not even aware of what's happening exactly on the inside. And we say that these internal strategies are really about, the internal representations, what we're doing, the little steps inside that put together make a mental sequence which is used to achieve a goal, right? Next slide. So what are our internal representations? Now, when we did some of the earlier modules in this program, I spoke about what's the internal representation of your prosperity, for example, right? So we have these inside little movie clips or stills that comprise generally an image of some sort. Sometimes they include something that we hear, some level of auditory, and also importantly, something that we feel. And then when we have that, we then give it meaning by choosing some words, our self-talk that tells us that maybe this is what we really feel about this particular thing. Give you an example. So you're off to purchase something. You make the purchase and you take it home. Now, that purchase can be something that you end up being very satisfied with. So you might look at yourself in the mirror, you might ask your husband, or your spouse, how does this look on me? And depending on what, look he might give you, you might think, oh, maybe I made a bad purchase. And so you will give that experience a meaning which says, maybe I shouldn't go and purchase things at that store again, or maybe buy that kind of dress again, or whatever it may be. But we give it a meaning. So an internal representation is a composite then of something that we see on the inside, something that we hear, something that we feel, and then the meaning that we give it with our self-talk and words. Now, how we order, and I'm not going to be able to go into this in detail here. So if you come to any of my NLP programs, we'll deep dive into this. But strategies, everything that we do from getting up in the morning to going to bed at night, every single thing that we do is a strategy. So we have a strategy for how we brush your teeth. We have a strategy for how we eat and prepare our breakfast in the morning. We have a strategy for how we prepare to leave the house and how we get to work and so forth and so on. You get the picture. Every single thing is a strategy. We have a strategy for how we make decisions. We have a strategy for how we sell, right? How we make a sale, how we close a sale. We have a strategy for how we make money, right? What is our business model breaks down into a sequence of strategies that we use in order to produce cash flow. So, from a point of view of modeling somebody else, what we want to know is what's really going on inside their head, and be able to dissect it. And one of the things that we look at is the why. What does that person believe and feel actively about an action or a situation or a decision, and how important is it to them? Because that why, when we were discussing your vision, the why is often what triggers you and what pushes you. So I need cash flow in order to be able to pay my bills, right? So that might be the trigger. So that's the why. Or I need to be able to pay my staff. But if my why is more around, because I want to reinvest it in stocks and shares, then I have to have a feeling that's really positive about doing that action. If I fear the stock market, I'm not likely to do it. So, getting a role model and being able to ask them some questions surrounding how they feel about particular actions is an important part of the modeling process, because at that point, you are able to tap into what's going on the inside, not just what you see on the outside, but what is it that they're doing? Often people have little rituals that they do before, starting their day, for example, or before making a really big decision. So those are the things that we want to be able to extract from the individual, and sort of being able to sit down and perhaps even interview that person is an important part of the modeling process. Yeah, next slide. So I decided to break down the components of making a sales call, right? So these might be some of the things, the components of the strategy that you would use in order to close a sale. So the first thing that perhaps you would do is to prepare for the call by doing research on the prospect and practicing the script, because making a cold call is an art. So you want to be able to prepare yourself adequately for that. Secondly, you might want to visualize yourself making the call in vivid detail. This is called rehearsal and role play. And why do you do it? Because it helps your unconscious mind to prepare you for exactly what you need to do when the time comes to do it. This is why athletes train, right? So you are training yourself in order to be successful. Thirdly, feel a sense of excitement when I hear the prospect's voice. Often we approach a sales call with a feeling of dread, and that dread permeates our energy, it permeates what we say, it permeates our body language, it permeates our voice, and the client picks that up. So we want to create a sense of excitement. So you might visualize, for example, something or someone that when you are with them, you feel genuinely excited. You do that maybe to pump yourself up and get yourself ready. Four, hear yourself going confidently through the opening conversation. So, what are you going to say? Not having the script in front of you, then you go through it, hearing the other person on the other side of the line. Feel the phone in your hand and your feet on the floor as you are paying attention to the prospect, right? So these are all your internal sequences that are going on. Six, hear yourself responding calmly and confidently to all the questions asked and the objections raised. Being able to rehearse this is a gold mine. It enables you, when you actually do get on the call, to feel calm and confident. And finally, see yourself smiling as you confidently close the call successfully. All of what I've just gone through is helping you to formalize a successful strategy for making a sales call. I hope that was helpful.
Wow. Very, very, very awesome. Very awesome.
And so, a reminder that everything that we have shared with you, this is knowledge. Now, knowledge doesn't get converted into actual learning and action unless you practice it. And you have to be able to move yourself from the knowledge that you don't know, which is unconscious incompetence, to a place where you are unconsciously competent. You do it without even thinking because it's become so habitual. Think of when you were learning to drive a car and you had to mechanically force yourself to do the various things in order to move off successfully without shutting off the car. Now you're driving the car, and sometimes, I hope no police are on the call. You might actually get to where you are going and wonder how the heck did you get there? Or
Right.
you might
Yeah.
be, putting on your lipstick as you're driving. Not a good practice. But
Right.
but this is the ability to move from just knowing something to actually being good at it. And it said that it takes 10,000 hours in order to be able to master any particular skill. So practice, practice, practice. Very important.
Yes. 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 And what I also realized, Liz, is so many of us practice not doing something.
Yes. Doing nothing. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the saboteur is talking and keeping us back, the avoider. So the first success tip is build your PQ muscles daily. So I've shared with you one example, one demonstration of uh, the mindful practice of using your sense of touch. And there are so many other ways that you can develop this practice, but do it routinely, do it daily, and this will definitely help to strengthen your self command muscles and to shift you into the thriving zone. Secondly, make smart goals that align with your purpose, vision, and values. So, on this program, we're focused on your vision and values. So the next step really is to develop your SMART goals that are in full alignment with your purpose, vision, and values. Three, measure and monitor your progress at reasonable intervals. So I put reasonable because it's not going to be very fruitful if you have a long term plan, say 3 to 5 years, and you are monitoring a KPI, a key performance indicator that's related to something that's not likely to happen right now. You want to have your measurements bound to the things that are important now that will lead you to that longer term success. So monitoring and measuring at reasonable intervals, is absolutely important. So you can keep track of maybe where you are falling off the radar, and make, with your accountability partners, get back on board. Keep your motivation strong. So, in order to do this, you need to know your why. It's very important that you know what's keeping you, your feet to the fire. What's your reason? And to use your visualization techniques to feel your way into your financial freedom. We've spoken about the law of attraction, and really how this program is able to help you tap into that is because it shifts your energy. Your thoughts create your feelings. So when you can master your thoughts, then you will have more success at being able to create the inner feelings that are going to align you with that which you want, which of course is your financial freedom. Fifthly, find a mentor and model them. I think this is not spoken enough about, but most successful people have someone, whether it's that someone knows that they have been a mentor or not, is not so important, but to have someone that you really are able um, to take a deep dive and find out more about what's going on with them and what are their success strategies. And of course, practice, practice, practice. You're only going to get better, but practice the right thing. So it's important because sometimes we are practicing the wrong things, right? And that's what we've been doing with our saboteurs. They have become so habitual that we don't even know that that's what we're doing. So we need to shift and practice the right things now so that we can become masterful at designing and creating our future of financial freedom. And finally, find an accountability partner or coach that's going to help you, to support you, to ensure that you absolutely are doing the right things at the right time, and helping you when perhaps you feel like you just can't do it on those days. There is someone there you can reach out to, and they'll help hold your hand and guide you along the path of your success. So, Dennise, over to you.
Ma'am. All right. And so, again, I think we've laid a good case that the cost, energetically, emotionally, financially, you don't need to pay it. Okay, it's a needless expense. The simple question is, are you ready to change your current situation? We've taken you through a journey, and it's just a journey of power, your internal power, your mental power. And as I've shared, it's two coaches, two offers. I think they're complementary, but we'll each go through them. And so, of course, I do help you to get your financial strategy through videos, live coaching, workbooks. We look at real estate, we look at your savings, we look at raising money, we look at the stock market from a position of making you recession proof in the stock market. We help you to build a legacy for your family, blow out, help you with the credit card debt, your mutual funds, which are a global opportunity, debt healing, We look at the ability for you to cut student loan debt, get more benefits from your auto insurance and your regular insurance, and of course, helping you to build out that cash flow, which is so very important now as an entrepreneur and later as a retired person. So, we help you to identify your financial problem, we help you to devise a solution, put your plan into action, monitor your progress. And, because we know you're going to reach out to Liz, you're not going to get derailed by setbacks. And so the homework was we have here is to really look at the ultimate scenario for your income situation, right? What is the most important, what's most important in this scenario, right? What matters most? Is it, you know, something that you can do that doesn't take away from something else? Is it a new skill that you need to learn? What is it? And what elements of the poised model that we've been discussing, which is being a producer, an owner, an investor, saver, energizer, the defender, are you doing right now? Because that's going to guide us in the financial coaching to help you even better. And we encourage you to get started with WizeFi to organize your money. Yeah, the link is in our learning management system. You'll learn your financial freedom date, you'll learn your debt freedom date. You can basically get organized. Whether you have debt or not, I recommend that you do the organization that is offered in this debt freedom course. Liz, over to you.
Yes, Denise. So I would be delighted to host any of the persons on this call to participate in my Women on the Rise group coaching program, which is especially designed with you in mind. It is for female entrepreneurs and those on the corporate ladder who really want to make a shift, who are ready to connect with their purpose, with their values, with their passion, and to become unstuck, to clear their confusion and to increase their clarity about who they are and what they want. And we help you to align your goals with your values. We help you to eliminate the stressors, the saboteurs, the behaviors that are keeping you stuck, and to at the same time elevate your internal sage to help you to really overcome any of the difficulties that you might be facing. And we also help you by increasing your confidence and self esteem and building a community of accountability, learning, and advancement. How do we do this? I do this with bi monthly, that's 2 calls per month, Zoom coaching calls, and also monthly bonus sessions with guest presenters on a variety of topics that will also help to elevate your consciousness and develop strategies for your success. We have a learning management system where you can find all the session replays just in case you can't make it to a session, as well as self study units and resource material, including PDFs and videos and all kinds of things that support you in your journey of transformation. Included in the subscription is a 1 year access to the Positive Intelligence Mental Fitness Program and mobile app that supports you on your journey through this 12-month program. So I invite you to take the next step, get moving into ease and flow today, and register for my free masterclass on how to create ease and flow. And the details for registration are there on your screen. Just type into your browser bit.ly/create ease and flow and take up the offer right away. It's been a pleasure being with you.
Yes, this has been awesome.
It really is.
Oh, awesome. Liz, thank you. I look forward to working with you again and again and again. And I just want to encourage everyone to know We're here to support you. Only you can decide if this is the time in your life where you're going to make changes, and you can be the judge of how well things are going for you and where you can see, feel, or even, have that intuitiveness that it's time to make a shift. My name is Dennise Williams, your financial coach. I was joined by Elizabeth Terry, NLP trainer and coach. We thank you for participating with us. Bye.
Bye.